Hey y'all, it's Yvonne from Brooklyn, baby. And I want to talk to my lefties, my Southpaws, for a minute. I don't know if you were forced to learn how to work right handed, but I want to share a story with you about my process of learning to teach. I am a Craft Yarn Council certified crochet teacher, and one of the activities that we had to do was to work with our non dominant hand. I am right handed. The only thing I can do with my left hand is this. That exercise reminded me of what it's like to feel like a beginner, to learn how to do something new or remember how to do something that you learned before, but you feel like you have extra fingers and thumbs. It's going to be all right. You can learn. And I understand the struggles of hearing left-handers feeling like they can't learn because no one can teach them. I can teach you. Now, I'm going to sit here and do this with my left hand. Um, okay, I cheated. I made my slip knot with my uh, other hand, but it's it's just a good reminder that everyone can learn and everyone can be taught. So I am going to be what appears like slow and struggling because again, this is not my dominant hand. So it feels like it will take longer, and it might. But I want this primarily to be an encouragement that if you are left-handed and you have tried to learn with your right hand and it didn't work for you, or you didn't feel comfortable with the process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to work on 12 stitches. 10, because it's not going to be a really big swatch. 11, 12. And I am reminded that this is what it feels like to be new every time I crochet left-handed. Okay, so now I am ready to work into the first stitch, and I'm going to go into the back bumps on the chain. This is the front of the chain. I'm going to the back bump. All right. There we go. And it is going I promise y'all I can do this, but it always feels like a struggle every time I go to use my non-dominant hand. But it does get better. Everything gets better with practice. So just remembering to hold your form, how you hold your yarn, how you hold the hook. And fun fact, I am a right-handed crocheter, and I hold it with hold my hook with this grip in my right hand. But in the left hand, I just naturally hold it this way. Go figure. You do what works for you. And I keep falling out of frame. I'm not used to holding my hands up high. But the point was for you to watch me do this and hopefully truly be encouraged that yes, you can learn with your left hand, and it's literally the same motion as is with your right hand. Okay, I'm halfway through the row, the first row, working into the back bumps of your chain, and that is known as the Japanese method, and I learned that from a prolific crocheter by the name of Lily Chin. You may have heard of her. Okay, just a couple more stitches to go. See how even as practiced as I am, it feels like I have extra fingers and thumbs because I don't practice this enough. Practice will definitely make you more comfortable and more accomplished. So when you're learning or remembering, don't be too hard on yourself. And remember that we all start from the same place. Oop. Last stitch. Hold on a second. Here we go. You will have to adjust how you hold your yarn, how you're holding your work. All of that is part of the process. All right, now y'all watching me struggle through my first row. There it is, 11 stitches on 12 chains. Now, the second row should be a little easier. Make your turning chain, and I'm working singles. So you're gonna do that, turn the work. And now I have a little something to hold on to. So should be less of a struggle. And I'm going under the top two. That's a little messy. Let me do that one again. Okay. Going under the top two loops of the top of the stitch now. So that's the first stitch, and going under the top two loops there. And again, as you have more fabric to hold on to, it will become a little easier. And be mindful, if your yarn happens to split, just make sure you pick up the whole loop. Yep, still feels like extra fingers, but it will feel more comfortable as you spend more time practicing. As I said, it's an entirely different hold for my left hand as I do my right. I hold my yarn the same way, but on, of course, the opposite hand. Depending on where you're from, you might actually hold your yarn and your hook in the same hand. When you teach, you see a lot of things, especially working with different cultures. All right, so I'm almost finished the second row. Two stitches left. And perhaps I'll also try and record this where you can have an aerial view, which is probably going to give you a better visual. But just wanted to pop in real quick and talk through it. So now that's 2 rows of singles left-handed. I'm going to make one more, and then you turn your work. And again, we're going under the top 2 loops of the stitch. And I have a little more to hold on to so I can control my work a little better. And again, this is just a quick and dirty video to speak to my lefties, my southpaws out there, and encourage you to either pick the hook back up or give it a try and reach out to me if you are, especially here if you're in New York, because that's where I am. It would be easier for us to connect if you are local, but by all means, reach out if you have any questions about left-handed crochet. All right, so now we've got 3 rows. And the beauty of picking up the back bump, the Japanese method, is that the chain, your first row, is as clean as your top row, as your last row. So it's a lot easier for if you're seaming, joining, it's a lot easier to pick up your stitches. So that's the hot tip on being a lefty and being able to crochet. I will perhaps do another video so you'll have an aerial view of what that looks like on this same swatch.